Hello, folks, and welcome to another exciting episode of Listen in 3D. This is episode number 51. I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool,
And I'm Netta, aka Wondrousnet.
and together we're both Team 3D, the host of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. Like what you're seeing, give this video a like or dislike. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. Share it around. Subscribe if you have not already, and all that wonderful stuff. So that also really helps us. Want to help us out one step further? Click on that notification bell when you do subscribe. That way you get notifications when all our videos go live. So that really should help us out. Just a reminder, we are on listening platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. So if you want to podcast the show instead of watch our beautiful faces, um, you could do that. Just a little reminder though, we may be a little slow getting episodes up digitally, but we can always find us on YouTube. All our links to all our socials and everything are in the description of this video and the description of our YouTube page or our main YouTube page. All right, so we've done 50 episodes down, doing another 50 episodes. So I figured we'd do something a little different here. We haven't done anything like this before. So were you excited when I said, let's do a soundtrack, or were you just open to it? Like, just want to
No, I
know.
thought I thought it was a good idea, especially since I haven't I looked around YouTube. I haven't really seen any other people doing reviews of soundtracks slash movies, so I thought it was a really good idea.
All right. So with that being said, I think I chose a pretty good one. If you want to introduce it, go right on ahead.
So today we'll be reviewing the Above the Rim soundtrack. It was released on March 22nd, 1994. The film was released just the day after on March 23rd, 1994. The soundtrack was certified two times platinum and peaked at number one on the R&B and hip hop album charts, number two on the Billboard 200, and it had a lot of featured artists. It had SWV, Sweet Sable, H Town, The Dog Pound, Second to None, DJ Rogers, Warren G, Nate Dogg, Tupac, Thug Life, Jewel, Aaron Hall, The Lady of Rage, Snoop Dogg, CPO, Boss Hog, Paradise, I'll Be Sure, OFTB, Rhythm and Knowledge, Stretch, Lord G, Treach, and Riddler.
Tretch.
Tretch. There were
Tretch.
singles including I'm Still in Love with You by I'll Be Sure, Part Time Lover by H Town, Regulate by Warren G and Nate Dogg, and Afro Puffs by The Lady of Rage featuring Snoop Dogg. There are music videos for all of the singles, plus I Didn't Mean to Turn You On by Second to None, Pour Out a Little Liquor by Tupac, and Anything by SWV.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I know it was a lot. Thank you. I really do appreciate you helping me with all these intros. I don't know what I would do without you. All right. So, Above the Rim, probably regarded as one of the best soundtracks, at least in hip hop of all time. Maybe not the best to some people, but it's definitely up there. It was released through Death Row Records and Interscope Records. Um, you know, Got to give it up to Suge Knight and Dr. Dre. They acted as the supervisors on this project. They did a very good job compiling all the songs together. Um, very, very good soundtrack. As for the movie itself, me being a kid in the '90s, loving basketball, this was up there, with quite a bit of basketball films that came out in the decade. Maybe definitely top 10, maybe top five to some, but it was definitely a good movie. We said when we were going to start doing soundtracks, we would watch the movie. Just give our 2 cents on it. So I'll go first. I think it was a very good movie, very great drama. That definitely a little bit of suspense too. Like if you hadn't seen it, just anticipating what's going to happen next. I did see this movie when I was younger, saw it a few weeks ago before reviewing this, so um, I'm glad I saw it. It was very entertaining, and it had a star-studded cast too. If I could just go here, yeah, it had Dwayne Martin, Leon Robinson. He usually just goes by Leon. Tupac Shakur, Bernie Mac, Tanya Pinkins, and Marlon Wayans. If I didn't know any better, I think this was his first feature film. Actually, I could be wrong. You can correct me on that if I am. So it was really good. On a budget of 6.5 million, it did 16.2 million at the box office. So it did pretty well for during its time. And then, well, a little sad note though, and I would say fun fact, but it's more of a sad note. This is actually the last feature film to come out during Tupac Shakur's lifetime. The last two films he was in came out after his death, unfortunately. So, and I think about that so much. Sometimes it's just like we lost that guy too soon. Such a visionary, such a just great artist. He's deeply missed. Anyway, any thoughts on the movie?
Yeah. As far as Tupac goes, I thought he did great in it. I think he's probably just as good an actor as he was a rapper, if not better.
Yeah, he was a really
He's
good
really
actor.
good. Yeah, he's probably the most compelling character for me, and he kind of shines in his villain roles. Like his this role, he was the villain. He was really good. Juice, he was the
Juice,
villain. He
Juice. That,
was
that
really
I would
good.
have to say that was my favorite Juice. But yeah, villain
Yeah,
role. I mean, had he stayed alive, I know he wanted to do more acting, and I think he definitely would have done more acting had he, lived on. Definitely, I could definitely see him doing like villains, even stuff for like kids later on. He was a very good actor.
yeah. Once he, if he, in this alternate universe where he lived, once he got sick of rapping, or
Hmm.
even if he just slowed down on it, like a lot of the older rappers do, he could just easily transition into just being an actor because he was
Yeah,
really, really good. Marlon Wayans, he was kind of the really the comic relief, even
yeah.
though he had some, it was some dark parts for him on there too, but he was a lot of comic relief, when he said you're playing one on bum. That was
Hmm.
funny. And when another guy beat up somebody, he's like, "Man, you need a role model." And so I thought the movie was a drama, but it was
Yeah, it
funny.
definitely
And
did have its funny
yeah,
parts.
and it was some really good acting from, like you said, a star-studded cast: Bernie Mac, Tupac.
Bernie Mac did very well.
Yeah, yeah.
They, like I said, like if you're a big movie buff, yeah, don't sleep on this movie. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, see it. I know it might be a little hard to find. I personally had to watch it on Fandango Home. I think that's what they call the app now. Used to be known as Voodoo. So,
Oh,
so yeah, that's where like all my digital movies are these days. So that's usually where I watch my movies if I can't find them on Netflix or Tubi or Hulu,
yeah.
whatnot. So
I found it right here on YouTube for like $4.
yeah, you can also do YouTube as well. I know they have movie rentals, but I just watched it on Fandango. I think it would have been the same price.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out, guys, if you haven't. A quick question for you. Did you think the music fit the film?
I didn't really think so. The music was like very freaky. Like a lot of the songs were like very like sexual, and
Hmm.
I liked them. But there was no sex scenes in this movie.
Yeah,
There
that's
was
that's
a
that's a weird thing about.
romantic,
It may
yeah,
be a
yeah. There was a
date.
romantic relationship.
I mean, there may
Yeah,
be a date scene, but yeah, there was no like nudity or sex scene in this movie. So
yeah. And I listened to it before. I listened to the soundtrack prior to listening to the movie, or prior to watching the movie. So I was like, "Oh,
mhm.
this movie must be freaky as hell." But it wasn't. I mean, it was barely even a kiss on the movie. It was one, but yeah, I didn't know if the soundtrack fitted that well, but the soundtrack was really good.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't much of a love story. I mean, I guess you could make an argument that there were a lot of love songs on the soundtrack, but I mean, I'm not gonna take away what the soundtrack was. I think some of the songs fit the movie, like the part where they're playing basketball with the shootout, toward the end of the movie. I think that fit it, and then which we'll get into
Yeah.
later. Obviously, the intro scene, you know, um, with Tupac's song "Pain," which we'll get into a little later. I think that kind of fit it pretty well
Hmm.
too. And then the end of the movie, Warren G and Nate Dogg's "Regulate." I think that kind of fit too. And if you watch the music video, which we'll talk about in a sec here, I think it kind of it all makes sense too. All right, so artwork. So I know the artwork was a little different from the movie poster. We're gonna disregard the movie poster. We'll just do the soundtrack. Not much going on here. What do you think?
Yeah, not much, I mean, I guess it's not much you can do to depict above the rim besides this, I guess. So yeah, just some guy or maybe some girl, I don't know, some hands hanging on a rim.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm not gonna count it with albums since it is a soundtrack, but if we do other soundtracks, I'm pretty sure we'll come across some better ones. But I mean, it's a basketball movie, so just I mean the colors match, I guess, and then just hanging from the rim. What I don't know, maybe it would have been cool if Dwayne Martin was like dunking, like you see him or something, maybe posterizing someone, but I don't know. But I don't think
Yeah.
there wasn't much going on here, and I figured it'd be the same. And you're pretty good at depicting, album artwork, but
Yeah, it's giving nothing.
given nothing for you. So, all right. Okay. So let's see. So beats, and there were a lot of good ones. What was your favorite beat or beats?
My favorite one was Afro Puffs. I just love that beat. Dre did a really great job on that one.
Oh
What did you think?
yeah. I'm a big Warren G fan, so I gotta go Warren G. If I'm doing runner ups, I think Big Pimpin' was also a nice sweet beat. Not one of my favorite songs, but I thought that was a good beat too. Anything SWV was also a good beat. Didn't mean to turn you on from Second to None was really good. Um, even Pain, I thought that was a great beat too. So yeah, yeah, a lot of good beats. Can play there.
Yeah, I would put Regulate as my runner up. That was really good.
Yeah, Afro Puffs, so yeah, I think yeah, Warren Regulate for me, and then probably Afro Puffs, Big Pimpin'. Didn't mean to turn you on. I mean, it was yeah, they brought out the beats on this one, so
Yeah.
yeah, so all right, so there were quite a bit. I mean, there weren't like quite a bit of singles, but the thing is, I know some of these songs were released as singles later on. For example, Tupac slash Thug Life's "Pour Out a Little Liquor." That was released as a single later on. But we'll just discuss the three more popular singles. I guess we can start with H Town Part Time Lover. What were your thoughts on this one?
I guess it was kind of like your standard ladies man song. It reminded me of that song. You ever heard the song "Boyfriend Number Two"?
I'm pretty sure I have.
It was a song that came out probably in the early 2010s. I don't know, but it reminded me of that. And the video is what really tripped me out. It was a
Oh, the
wild
video.
scene. There was a wild scene in the video where they're like just dancing with their pants all the way down, but their
Yeah,
boxers are just still on, and
yeah,
they're
that
just
was.
dancing. I'm like, what in the heck is this? 1993? This how they got
Yeah,
down?
kind of was, and yeah, got no comment there. Kind of reminded me. I mean, I know they're an R&B group, but it kind of reminded me of like the transition into like like a pop boy group that you'd see later on, like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or 98 Degrees or something like that. So it kind of like reminded me like of that. yeah, it wasn't good song, but it was not my cup of tea. I can tell you right now, it's probably not a song I'm taking back to my playlist. I'd probably only like if I feel like bumping the Above the Rim soundtrack one day. That's probably the only time I'll listen to that song. But otherwise, good song. But yeah, just that definitely. I think of all the singles, it was probably the weakest.
I would probably say it's the second
Second
yeah.
weakest.
Yeah.
All right. Um, let's see. So the second single we'll discuss, "The Lady of Rage," featuring Snoop Dogg, Afro Puffs. Um, I think lyrically she kills it on this song, and it's just really a shame that before Death Row kind of fell under in the mid '90s, her project was like the last one to be released, and yeah, it really sucks too because she was like, I don't think a lot of people know this, but she was the first artist signed to Death Row before Dre found Snoop and all them. So yeah, it was kind of I kind of feel for later rage sometimes. But but this song she definitely kills, and I think she shows her lyrical genius, and Snoop on the chorus and everything was really good as well. What you got? What do you think's going on in this song? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I really agree with you about how she showed off her lyrical ability, especially on the second verse. I really love the second verse when she starts it off and she's like, she's making the Street Fighter sounds.
Oh
I'm hitting
yeah.
MCs like Hadouken, and then later on the second verse is my favorite part, probably my favorite part of the entire album when she says, I love her flow on this one. She says, I got that tongue that is outdone anyone from the rising to the setting of the sun or the moon. I consume the room with doom. When I hear the kick of an 808
808
bass,
bass, boom,
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 boom. That
bam, god
god
damn.
damn. That's my favorite
I'm
part of the
hitting
song
so
too. Yeah,
hard you could
yeah.
say it's a grass
That
slab.
that that
Yeah,
part that part goes hard. Yeah, that's
yeah.
that was I was gonna call that out too. That 808 bass boom part. Yeah, that and
Yeah.
then yeah, just
The flow was crazy. Yeah.
yeah, she went all out there, and then the third verse was pretty solid as well. Yeah, the part where she's like, with that big boy booty tat that's kicking, ripping apart like Jason, you'll be chasing like a dream, Freddy. Are you ready for the cream de la cream? Yeah, so I thought that was like pretty cool also.
Yeah, and
And
even just the chorus, I rock rough and stuff with my afro puff. Like
rage.
yeah, it was really good. I love this song.
And then yeah, the video was pretty cool also. It's been a long time since I'd seen the music video. I like how she did like the whole Batmobile thing at the beginning of the video, and then just the dark theme, like outside of a building, just seemed like they're having a pretty good time. It was very good music video. Can't hate on it
Yeah,
there.
at the very beginning, I seen like the buffest man I've ever seen in my life walking down some stairs, just
Oh
like
yeah,
I
he
don't
had to be
know,
like roided
coming
out.
towards. Yeah, I had to rewind it to see that again. I couldn't believe my eyes, and yeah, when she gets on her elevator into her Batmobile or car, whatever it was, and she looked like some kind of superhero, and she goes
Yeah.
out into this world that was just whatever world she was in was so chaotic, almost even apocalyptic. And there's fires, there's fighting, dancing, and singing, and like you said, they're having a good time on the corner of Rage and Farmville.
Farmville,
uh,
Farmville,
yeah,
VA.
yeah. She say I'm straight out of Farmville, VA. So what you gotta say?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
Snoop kills it on the chorus too. Yeah, I gotta get up to Snoop. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he really helped the song a lot. And then final single we'll talk about, Warren G and Nate Dogg, Regulate. Now they were on a song previously with Mr. Grimm on Poetic Justice soundtrack called Indo Smoke. But this is a song that really brought them to like that got the hip hop world's attention. And I think it's one of the best duets in all of hip hop. up there with even Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's "Nothing But a G Thing." Yeah, they just had great chemistry with the song and the Michael McDonald sample that they used to pull it off, and Warren G giving his own twist behind it, and it's a song that's just gonna stand the test of time, in my opinion, and it's very good. I like how they went back and forth, and going back to how Nate Dogg rap. I recently put the short on YouTube, by the way, folks. So if you want to check that out, check it out. But I think he can rap because it sounded like he was rapping in this song for the most part. Great song. I
Yeah.
like the story behind it. What you got here for this one?
Yeah, I really liked this song. I thought Nate Dogg really shined on it. Um, I like when he says, now they dropping and yelling. It's a tad bit late because the other guy Warren G is like he's praying somebody saves him
Hmm.
when somebody's about to like hurt him, and Nate Dogg comes in and he says, now they dropping and yelling. It's a tad bit late. Nate
Nate
Dogg
Dogg
and
and
Warren
Warren
G.
G had to regulate.
Right. And then right after that, he tries to get back into freak mode. I laid them all down. I let my gat explode. Now I'm switching my mind back into freak mode. So right after he lays down these guys, he switched back into freak mode. It goes back to the girls the girls who straight hit the curb
Yeah.
because they were too busy staring at him.
Yeah.
He has to go back to them. So I thought it was really good. I like the
Yeah,
video
and
too.
going to the East Side Motel. Yeah, the
Yeah,
video was hot. They had some nice girls in there. I think it depicted, more drama side of the film. Especially with the scenes that they put in from the movie, especially at the end too. Like, I like how the end of the video it kind of ended the same way the movie did, where they're watching. Um, watching them over at what is it, Georgetown, when he got to college, and then regularly explain at the end of it. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, I thought the endings matched pretty well too. Like, hey, we got through it, happy ending. Let's move on.
yeah. Speaking of that ending, I really liked how they incorporated that the Georgetown coach who was actually there. I
Mhm.
forget what his name was, but I guess he was one of the first black head coaches of a college team,
Oh,
and
John
he
Thompson,
won. Yeah, and they
John
incorporated
Thompson.
him in there as if Dwayne Martin or Kyle was like
Yeah,
playing for him. I thought that was really cool how they
yeah,
did that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That was very. Yeah, that's one of the things I liked about basketball movies in the '90s is how they would use real coaches or real NBA players, to just show like how just show them in the film and everything, and in some cases even show their acting abilities. So you don't really see that too much anymore. I guess one example would
yeah,
be Space Jam 2, but but in the '90s you
yeah.
saw a lot of that, so I thought that was pretty cool.
I love movies in general who kind of take that. Like the first movie I think of is Forrest Gump.
Mhm.
That they took real scenes like of I don't know Nixon speaking and act. They pretend like Forrest Gump was just in the background standing there. I love when they do that. It's very creative and it makes the movie feel even more like
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, it felt like a real movie, and I'm sure like a lot of kids, even today, go through something that his character went through, and I think they did it pretty well, and I think it's aged pretty good for the most part. Like it's not definitely not out of its time. Maybe the music to some people, but for the most part, it's something people go through every day. So one
Yeah,
to hear from
there
college scouts, everything like that.
and there will always be those basketball players like him who at the beginning of the movie,
Mm,
he's hogging the ball. He has a big ego. He
yeah,
thinks that this team belongs to me. Nobody would be here without me. And
yeah.
you know, there will always be those kind of stories where people have to learn to
Hmm.
cooperate and teamwork and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right. So let's see. So we did the singles. Um, Now for the big moment, your favorites, your top three.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I take it back. The one you said was the worst because I was looking at I was looking at a different one. So
All right.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was the weakest single. Yeah, probably
yeah.
maybe even arguably the worst song on the soundtrack, but maybe.
Jesus.
Okay, maybe I wouldn't go that far. Maybe I don't know. Sorry, H Town, but they've had better songs. Knock on the Boots. I mean,
Oh, that's them.
yeah,
Okay, I didn't know that was them. Okay.
yeah, that's them. All right. Yeah, you can go first. Yeah, top three favorite songs.
uh, I went with Afro Puffs, Regulate, and Doggy Style with an honorable mention to Crack 'em.
Crack 'em was actually a pretty good song. For me, I went with Regulates, and then I had to show Tupac love. Pain kind of stole the show for me, and I'll get into it when we do the expansions. And then the last song, Loyal to the Game. Honorable mentions, and there are a lot of them too. Big Pimpin', Doggy Style was honorable mention. Didn't mean to turn you on, honorable mention. Pour out a little liquor, honorable mention. Afro Puffs, honorable mention. And Dog Pound for Life, honorable mention. Even the song that just gets stuck in your head. You bring the dog out in me. Yeah, I just had to say that. Definitely not the best song, but it's that just gets stuck in your head. Honorable mention just for having that whole and Hoochies Need Love Too. That was also a good song. There are a lot of great songs on here.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna add that to my honorable mentions because I was laughing the whole time I was listening to that.
All right, so I'll let you start off. What Doggy Style? You don't hear a song like this every day, but
No, you don't. They say you know the way that I can't remember the melody at this point, but they were saying you know the way that I like it doggy style. Told me before that you like it doggy style, and I liked it because it was a very freaky song. It almost sounded like a choir, like a
yeah,
gospel choir on the hook, and I don't know I really like choirs, so I really love the song.
yeah, pretty sexual song for the most part. But I will say the beat, the melody. I assume you're gonna take this back to your playlist. It's a great beat. One of the I probably should have shouted it out earlier. It was a great beat too. Great R&B, New Jack Swing beat. He probably could have rapped over it too, pretty much. I mean, it's no, great, excellent beat, and just if you're intimate with your significant other, maybe you put that on. All right, for me, so Pain. First off, I like the sample that they use. Actually, no, not the sample. Well, just the beat in general. Just sounded really good, and then just I like Stretch's second verse also on the song. And for the most part, at least for me, like when it came to this song, it's just I think it just really just explained the movie at the beginning, and it's just like got you into the mood for the movie. So I mean, I know for me, just like all right, and then just Tupac's two verses on here, I feel like he just kills it. Um, Anything you liked about this one?
Yeah, I like the hook. I like the girl singing,
Yeah,
tired of the strain and the pain. It was pretty good. I liked it.
yeah, yeah, pretty good song. And then Loyal to the Game, not to be confused with the Loyal to the Game off the Tupac album that Eminem produced years later. But this is the better one of the two. I don't care what anyone says, but I like how they use that cameo sample. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Stretch and Riddler, I forgot to shout him out too. Yeah, Riddler, he they do well too. I like Riddler's verse where he starts the third verse. Now I be loyal to my niggas on the block, just bucking the shots and packing the glocks and dodging the cops, taking over niggas pops, popping after popping. The fools be dropping, the hoes be hopping on my thing, cause it hangs like the nets from above the rim. You think he's gonna say like it's nuts, but he says nets from above the rim. So that really got. I thought that really like okay.
Yeah, I noted that part too. I thought that was funny. It was probably the only explicit reference I actually heard to the movie itself. Um, I also like the part where Riddler said, "Real niggas stick together till they make it up to heaven."
hmm
I thought that was a nice line.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Tretch's part, if I go back, without no doubt, I ain't no slouch and it ain't time to back out. So I jumps in it, try to stop her and watch her slap you cockeyed like Popeye fuck spinach.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
heard that
yeah,
part too. Facts.
yeah,
Is Stretch does Stretch date one of Salt or Pepper? One
yeah.
of them.
He went out. Yeah, they went out together. They have a daughter together. Him and Peppa actually.
Okay, I saw him on their they have a reality or they had a reality show and
Yeah.
I remember that name now, Tretch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tretch, the front man for Naughty by Nature. That's Tretch.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't done a Naughty by Nature record yet. We'll do one sooner rather than later. A lot of great artists out
Okay.
there. But yeah, I mean, and then Tupac, of course he kills it as always. So yeah, those were my three picks, with a bunch of other honorable mentions. I was surprised you didn't like the SWV song. I thought that one for sure would have been in your top three.
It was okay. Honestly, it just sounded like another song that I heard before, but it was kind of like a lesser version of a song I heard
Yeah,
before.
although that was a remix version. I guess the real version had Wu Tang Clan on there for anything,
Oh.
but I think with the whole East Coast West Coast thing going on, I'm pretty sure Suge had something arranged to not have them on the song, or I don't know. But those are just
Oh.
my theories. But yeah, it's just kind of a shame that they didn't include their part when they did the remix. But the music video was cool, by the way. I kind of like that video. All right. So um, so we go on to album cuts and expansion. So this is the whole deluxe edition that we did. Usually I don't do deluxe editions when we do this, but I made the exception for this, and I'll tell you why. Um, the original CD had the first 18 songs. So, if you do the time length on it, it was about a little under 78 minutes. And I don't know if you've made like a mix CD before, right?
Mhm.
All right, so I don't know if you ever paid attention to the minutes on the CDs or not. Typically, it would say 80 minutes. So that was the most they could put on a CD during that, well, I think ever was 80 minutes. So the three additional tracks, Pain, Me Money Right, and Loyal to the Game, it would have been 90 minutes altogether. So instead of making it like a double CD, like I think they really should have, it would have been the second one of hip hop slash R&B history, I guess, if they did. But that title goes to Tupac now since All Eyes on Me came out as a double CD. I guess they decided to just go the lazy route, I feel, and just cut the last three tracks to make the first 18 tracks fit on the CD.
Oh.
So the way you could get all the tracks though was you had to get the cassette release. So that had everything on there. So obviously through compilations later on you eventually would be able to get the last three songs, and now, obviously, on streaming services, you can. And even this vinyl, which I'll show you right now. Give me a minute. Yeah, this vinyl here, Above the Rim. actually has all 21 tracks. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is the first time on vinyl all 21 tracks have been, and that's the one that they recently reissued. So that's why I was like, it's not really like a secret song or anything. I mean, you can. So that's why. So there will be some exceptions where I'll just include the whole deluxe album. So yeah, so that's why I decided to include it all. So, but even then, still, I mean, I know two of the songs were in my favorites that were on the deluxe, but otherwise, it still would have been tough for me to choose. I mean, there were just so many great songs on here, man. Just
Yeah, there was a lot of songs.
a lot of songs, a lot of great songs too. So, um, going into recommendations. So I looked up 1994 for other hip hop soundtracks, hip hop and R&B, I guess, for great soundtracks that came out that year. Obviously, this was put out by Death Row Records. There's another one that came out after this, the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, which we will do sometime down the line. So, Murder Was the Case. Another soundtrack too, from for a movie that came out in 1994. Now, this movie was not very good, but apparently it was a hip hop soundtrack. So I'm a little curious about it. If I can find it, maybe we'll do it one day, but not anytime soon. It was the Street Fighter soundtrack. It had a star-studded group of artists on there too, like Ice Cube. I heard MC Hammer was on there. So
Hmm.
the movie isn't very good. If you're looking for fighting movies or movies off video games in the '90s, Mortal Kombat was way better than that. But
Was it a cartoon or a?
Street Fighter, no, it was Street Fighter, the video game, like the fighting game, Street Fighter. Um, but yeah, it wasn't a cartoon. No, it wasn't a. Oh, you mean the movie was a cartoon? No, it was a live action movie, and it sucked.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Dang.
yeah, it was based. They probably should have been a cartoon. Maybe it would have did better, but I mean, it was like video game movies in the '90s were. Yeah, like that one sucked. The Super Mario Brothers was probably the worst of them all, at least from the '90s. They made up with the one that they put out last year though, so can't. So I mean, they're headed in the right direction, but back then it was. Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I'm a little curious. I mean, not on streaming services that soundtrack, but if we can find it, we probably should do it. And then the last one, Tupac was on this, made his imprint on this album a lot. Not just the last two of the last three songs, but Pour Out a Little Liquor, with the Thug Life crew. So I had to give a recommendation to Thug Life Volume One. Pour Out a Little Liquor. It was a single, not from the soundtrack though. It was a single later on when Thug Life Volume One came out. Um, so there you go. So definitely check that out. Very good album. All right. Um, so that went pretty well with soundtracks. Well, we will be doing some more. Maybe another basketball movie later on down the line. All right. So do you got any final thoughts on this soundtrack? What are you taking back to your playlist? I have a feeling you're taking quite a bit of songs back, but
Well, my absolute favorite was the Afro Puff, so I'm definitely taking that back.
definitely, I knew you were
Um,
gonna take that one back.
I'm taking back what was the Freaky Choir song?
Doggy style.
The Doggy Style. Um, Regulate too. I guess I already kind of liked Regulate, but I'll take that back. And I mean, while I don't think that the soundtrack was really spot on with the theme of the movie, I think they were both good. Like
Hmm.
individually, the Freaky Choir song was good, but I guess I would have liked to hear more songs about facing your fears, like the
Hmm.
character Shep did, or like containing your ego, like the character Kyle did. But I would recommend both the movie and the soundtrack.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah, I would definitely. Listen, if you're a hip hop fan and you hadn't heard the soundtrack, definitely take a listen and then watch the movie. I mean, I think the movie doesn't get enough love. It did very well during its time, especially with its budget. I mean, inflation now it probably would have been way more money, but for me, I mean, a lot of these songs I've listened to a lot. I would have to say if I'm taking anything back that's new to me, uh, maybe Hoochie's Need Love too. uh, and then maybe You Bring the Dog Out. That's just like one of those songs. And then Crack 'em wasn't that bad either. I'd probably bring Crack 'em back. So and then Dog Pound for Life, good song, but it's just a lot of good, great songs on there. But yeah, I definitely recommend both soundtrack and movie. You know, especially if you want to see Tupac in a great villain role. Yeah, I mean that's definitely the one to definitely see.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So with that being said, let us know your favorite tracks if you've seen this movie, if you would recommend it. For Netta, aka Wondrous Net, I'm Justin, Too Tall for You Fool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you on the next one. Later.